Alright, let's get this started. So for starters, I'd like to see you hold somewhere more forward, right? Just like hidden somewhere. Like instead of like playing behind this statue, like just like play like here or something, right? Where they like, that's probably pretty dumb, but like just hang out in like a corner somewhere where they're not expecting it, as opposed to just holding in front of them, right? As ball, you kind of don't want to engage with the front whenever possible, right? You'd rather engage from the side or behind them. So a lot of that comes down to like setup. If you're just hanging out on this high ground up here, right? You can scout if they're coming up to you, right? And you can scout if like you're holding on this side, whether or not where they're going, right? And you can make informed decisions that come from high ground, as opposed to having to like adjust to what's going like because you're in front of them, right? This is super forced. Why is it super forced? It's because no one on your team can shoot, right? So like you kind of angles, but they're super far away, right? Right here. And then you have like a sig shooting from the high ground, and that's the extent of all the help you're getting in this play. So there's no need to do this until the enemy team tries to rotate, right? So they're just walking in, and you're already like committing all your cooldowns. And this pile driver is also extremely dangerous, right? If you just want to like grapple here and just swing, boop, and go back around, and then like chill, and then like hang out after that, right? That's fine, right? It's not fine, but it's better. But the problem is you're committing pile driver into three stuns, and discord. Like you're dead, right? I don't know if you actually live here. You might, but like you should be dead. And realistically, if this guy hits his flash, you're dead. All right, they used the sleep already. I don't think they hit the flash either. Let me just confirm that. If he did, it's whatever. The point is like that was not a good play, right? Even though you lived, right? You burned all your cooldowns, right? You have grapple now, I guess, but you're purple, right? So you can't even pick up this health pack if you wanted it. You burned your shields, which is probably your most important engagement tool, way more important than pile driver. And you have no health, right? And your only way to run is away from the enemy team. That also puts you away from team sightline. So in order to grab health now, you have to grab this mini, this mega. Is that a mega? That's a mega, right? And then like maybe I think there's a mini in here as well. Or there's a mega. Okay, so you can grab a second mega over here. But either way, that takes you out of the fight for a good like 10 seconds. So they might as well just have killed you, right? Considering how fast ball gets back. So like again, you don't need to make that play, right? And so if you're going to make that play, you cannot pile drive in front of them, right? Again, this is why it's so important to hold positions where you can scout, so you can see how many stuns they have, right? And second, like pile drive is a really big commitment ability. It's like charging on like Ryan. Like if you're a Ryan here, if you charge in here, you're probably gonna die. If you're a monkey and you jump in like this, you're probably gonna die. Ball doesn't always die in these situations, but you might as well have died, so it's just as bad, right? It doesn't feel like it because you lived, but it's just as bad. Where are you? There you are. Right, so like if you look, just by making this play, right, just because you made this play, the enemy team got from here to here, and there's no punish, right? Because you're not ready to punish, because you're the one who got punished, right? That's good. You rolled through them, right? See, why was that better? A, your team is in position to do more, right? They're just like set up around this spot, right? And you're still on this high ground. So first of all, your team is in position to do more, right? And second, you didn't pile drive. You went through them, right? From an angle where they weren't looking, so there was no CC, there was no sleep, there was no flash. Oh, the McCree's flanking right now. There was no flash. There was no hook because you rolled through them, right? And then you ended up on the other side. Very safe. You didn't even need a blow shield here, to be honest. But because you didn't pile drive, and you came from behind, this is why this play was much better, right? That pile drive's okay. Why is that pile drive okay? Because your team's doing stuff on the other half of the map, right? And then on top of that, you know that this guy also has no hook, right? So you know there's no CC, there's less punish. Your team is shooting this guy. This guy's Discord right now. Although I think he just moved the Discord somewhere. No, that's Discord. Okay, so he's Discorded, right? And your team is like looking at this, right? Because this guy got hooked, right? And then meanwhile, their team is trying not to die, right? Where's their Ana? Where'd she go? That's Ash. Where did the Ana go? Oh, she's right here. She's being dumb. Okay, but anyways, the point is like, you make this play's better because your team is helping, right? And you know they have no hook. That's not you. Right, and so it immediately results in a Ryan death, right? This pile drive is good because this guy's on fire. You're also up in numbers a lot, so you can play way more aggressive when you're up. Like you have a tendency to like play really passive sometimes as ball, right? So like here, right, like you killed the Rhine, you slammed the Rhine, and instead of sticking it out and trying to fight them with shields, right, you like ran away, and then you started shooting, and then you emptied your entire clip into Hog from this range, right, as opposed to like doing anything else. So at that point, like you already like you're gonna have grapple back like while you're doing this instead of like shooting. While you're shooting, you could have had your grapple back. When you got your grapple back, just go on the supports instead, like immediately, right? Just bypass the Hog over the supports, and you can do that. But you just shot the Hog for for an entire clip before you made this play, right? I'm just trying to emphasize that you can play a lot faster than this. That's not you. Whoops. There's good cleanup on the back line, right? But you want to do that earlier, as soon as you kill the Rhine, really. All you're really waiting for is shields, and you had shields there, so. All right. Set up some off angle, some flank somewhere. No. Okay. So first of all, you already have minefield. You already have mines. So like harass is like meaningless more or less unless it directly leads to kills or a lot of pressure. And then second is like you're telegraphing your position, right? And like it doesn't do anything, right? Like you might as well just hang out, get ready for a good pile drive, a good mine combo, right? It'll probably be a pile drive mine combo, but like you want to set up for mine somehow, right? And doing it from the front and showing that you're in the front really doesn't help your case, right? I guess the Rhine just going to feed a shield, but okay. See how like when you gauge from the front, you risk getting hooked, right? I mean, like getting hooked there isn't the end of the world, but it's definitely not great. If you're gonna make this play, you definitely want to mines first, because like you've got now, and the reason why this play is better now is because actually, why is the Ash over? Okay, so the thing is, everybody's set up to fight around here now, right? So this is a little bit better of a spot to fight. If you cut off their tree with minefield, they have nowhere to go except into your team's like sightlines, right? So if you're gonna like pile drive here, you want to do this with minefield because the minefield will actually protect you, right? It'll eat damage for you. It'll do damage. It'll zone people out and make the people have other stuff to worry about, right? But this play is a lot riskier if you just go in like this, and it's a lot less value overall. Yeah, so you literally almost died for that, right? And it's like it's good in the sense that like your team went in and like they were like blading and they got kills, right, with damage boost. But like either that needs to be coordinated, right? You're talking to them and be like, okay, I'm going in, right? And then as you're pile driving, then they're dashing up and pulling blade, and so just way better, right? Or you just like go in, commit mines to save yourself first and foremost, right? Or you just don't pile drive, right? Again, like you just roll through them. It's still not that bad. But again, also you don't want to get to the front. There's a lot of things that are compounding on itself to make your own game harder here. Oh my god, why are we sig ulting? Just for whoops. Just for reference, as a mega here, this is way better than going all the way back for the mini. Yeah, you don't need to wait for the ceiling. They both have support ults. You just want to get set up in advance. Like that was such a clean wipe. You probably could have gotten into their spawn and hid somewhere for like a bigger play. Alright, they're trying to rotate, so this is a good time to go in. That minefield is too late, right? Do you see? It's like okay because this guy's still caught outside, right? So if you turn around and you just go kill this guy instead, that'd be good, right? But the problem is 4 people got in here, and by the time you threw the mines out, right? They were already inside, right? You want to be throwing the mines as they're rotating. So you want to be a little bit closer first of all, and then act a little bit faster, right? That's not you. I keep doing that. Right, that's an Ana who's alone, so we should go for it. That damage is meaningless, right? Like, so what you want to do is like save your ammo, just immediately grapple, right? Boop her, right? You can even boop her again if your grapple tech is good. And you might get a slam even. What's your cooldown slam? That's on 3 seconds. So yeah, if you just start grappling, right, you get a boop, might get a second boop, right? She either sleeps you or she doesn't, right? If she doesn't sleep you, like she 100% dies eventually, right? But wasting your entire ammo from this range, where it's also even easier to sleep you because you're not moving, right? You're sort of just like minimizing your own impact here, right? Just like get the boop, get the second boop, maybe even the third boop. All you have to do is grapple this spot, and you can just do that all day, right? Then when you get pile driver, you kill her, right? And then you're back to your team fight with up a man, right? But the problem is like this is just really inefficient way of killing her, right? Just do that earlier. Oh no, and then don't let go of the grapple, right? Just start it, swing, go back, swing again, right? And then pile drive, right? And that's 200 damage right there, right? then you get slept. Shields. Alright. It's a good boop. Just shoot him? Okay, I guess running is fine too. Grabbing the Mega. Go around, grab the other Mega. I guess it's okay. Unfortunate.
60 seconds remaining. Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Alright, so, gonna go back through the list again. Why is this problematic? Look at the all 3 enemy hero stuns looking at you. Look how sad you are. Look at what your team is doing. Literally nothing, right? Do you see, like, how, like, you're sort of just, like, again, if you're Ryan, you wouldn't do this. If you're a Monkey, you wouldn't do this. But because you're Ball, you feel like it's okay to do this. And, like, it's still not okay for Ball to do this. This is just really bad timing, right? You don't have to do this. The pile drive is way over the top, right? Like, there's no world in which you don't die here. Okay, so, again, you might live, again, but it's still really, really bad. Yeah, and you die, right? They hit all 3 stuns, you die, right? And then you might be like, oh, they have so many stuns. It's like, no, you why did you do that? That was all on you, right? Alright, so you just donated 600 HP. Fortunately, Ball shields don't actually charge ult, which is nice. Yeah, the big feed. Alright, so why is this play better, right? Why is this play less risky? Freeze frame, what's going on? Your team is fighting. Your team is fighting. They probably don't have stuns for you as much, and they can't afford as much attention to you, because if you think about it, you died from here, from full HP and full shield, right? And you got to here, even while getting stunned. And it took probably like 3 to 4 seconds for you, not 4 seconds is too long. It probably took about 3 seconds of continuous stunning to kill you here. And all of them shooting you for the entire duration, right? They can't afford to do that when your team is fighting, right? So this play is immediately better now, right? Because you waited, right? Or you not waited, you got back late, but you get the picture. Really good slam for your blade. That's really good. You should probably just wait there for the Mega. Yeah, die for it. Also, I think I mentioned this to you in DMs, but I highly recommend watching Ball Overwatch or Ball GDH. You can learn a lot from it. Take position. You don't need to wait for healing. I just like, first of all, the difference between like a 400 HP ball and a 600 HP ball is not actually that big, most of the time. So like, if you're missing like 100 health, don't sweat it. Right. Second is like, don't rely on your healers to heal you, because they've got a lot of other crap to heal. Right. And especially Mercy's End, like they just don't have a lot of healing output. Right. So don't strain them. Right. Just like, first of all, don't take the damage. Right. Don't sit main. Right. And second, like, if you do take the damage, don't stress them and just leave. Right. And let them like do their own thing. Right. Also, you should generally prefer high ground. High ground makes it a lot easier to set up slam plays, right? And with more safety, right? Because instead of initiating a boop from surprise into a slam in front of them, you initiate the slam from surprise, and then you just grapple away, right? Or do whatever you want. That's not you. There you go. Okay. But this is just like overall more risky, right? And also just less value than if you just initiated from up here, right? You just sat here, and then like whichever side they try to push, whatever side the supports are on, right? Supports are right here on cart, right? Then you mines, and then you slam, and somebody dies, most likely, right? But you try to roll through them and then mines, and this is just not very good. Again, grapple from the front. Also, generally speaking, if you want longer range grapples, you need grapples that are higher up. This grapple is only going to take you this far before you start going up, right? And I mean, you do have slam on off cooldown right now, so you can use it. But I'd much prefer if you just started going up back over here, right? Up to high ground. Again, there's nobody on this high ground. It's so free right now, right? And you're not using it. And you're trying to force a grapple into their face and to do a slam, and then you don't have grapple to escape, and you're going to be really sad, right? So, like, again, just leave, right? You don't have to engage from the front, right? If you do want to grapple, right, you should be grappling to get fireball on this guy, assuming, like, this guy wasn't coalescing. The fact that it's coalescing means, like, you don't do anything to him anymore, so you shouldn't try to interact with them. But yeah, there's really not a lot you can do anymore, and this is mostly on you. Yes, get the trans. Alright, now leave. You got other stuff to do. No. You've had grapple off cooldown for so long? Okay. Again, why was this? Why did this grapple not take you very high or very far? It's because you grappled the bridge, not anything higher, right? As a result, you get stuck here, right? And now like you can only slam the Zarya, which is still fine, right? But like not like you're not like applying any real backline pressure, right? Alright, you have no shields. Don't rush in there. You're going to probably die to the tree. Oh, you could have slammed that. Like, so right here, if you grapple, anytime you get elevation over the ground, even if you're not actually elevated relative to where you were, right? So if you jump off here, right, you can slam back onto this, right? You just do 180 slam, right? So here, as you, like you're rolling off, right, just like turn to your left and slam, and you can kill this guy, right? Or you get a guaranteed slam. Yeah. So you feed him a lot of unnecessary ult. He already had it, but you know, you also take more unnecessary damage. Again, instead of playing for map control, your immediate reaction is to double all the way back to your team, right? Instead of like saying like, oh, I killed this guy, let me just go back to high ground and start rolling out of here, and then maybe if I run into someone out here, I can like catch him and slam, right? Please go high ground. No. I know the jumping animation with ball is dumb, but like, no.
60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, see, if you come from high ground, you see this guy coming, and you can set up a play, either bypass him, right, just start jumping on this and get up on top of here, or you can just like potentially set up a play on him because you know he's coming up alone, right, because McCree is high noon, he wants to go for a solo play, right, and if you just hang out here, you can probably just kill him, right, if you wait for enough separation, but instead he gets to jump on you, right, and that forces you to burn shields and leave, right, so now you can no longer hold this high ground unless you get healing, because there's no health packs on this high ground, and now you're rolling into them, right, you dodge the sleep, you dodge the hook, but you're still dead, right, like, again, don't come from front. It sucks, right? I know the McCree's on this side, right? So just back out, get above them, right? And either set up to kill the McCree, or wait until these guys start walking out too far, and then you go for a play from behind them, right? This McCree's gonna go for high noon now. He gets no kills. Classic high noon. Again, you landed on the cart, you face tank, and you start. And instead of your, so on ball, your immediate instinct needs to not be to shoot. Your immediate, if you like end up in a situation where it's not like you can't immediately like go kill someone, your immediate instinct should be to reposition, right? Unless like you're applying so much pressure that from like unless you're shooting from a spot where no one else can shoot you back, right? So for example, if there's a Reinhardt and a choke or something, right, and then you can very safely shoot him from over here, right? That's too far. If like the Rhine is pushing through a choke here, right, and your team's on the other side, and you can very safely shoot from here, and no one else can shoot you in the back or shoot you back, right? This is great to just be shooting from, right? Until someone comes out to do something. If they try to poke their nose out, then you like pile drive them or something. You know, you get the idea. But you're shooting from the front here against a McCree and a Hog, right? They're like just in terms of like threat, they're way more threatening to you than the other way around at this distance, right? So what you need to do is like as soon as you like land here, and then realize like, oh, I can't pile drive, I'm on the cart. I'm also not in a great position to do anything, right? Like, you just need to like tuck yourself back into the ball and reposition, right? Like this is just like a waste of time, and like you're taking a lot of damage as well for this. Like you haven't taken any yet, but you take a lot of damage now, right? So, oh, you even burned your shields. Okay, so now not only did you take 130 damage, I think, yeah. You also have your shields forced now, and your shields, or these are not like good shields. This is a 100 shield, right? This is a 0-man shield. So you get a 0-man shield. You take 2 McCree shots for free. You burned your shield cooldown as well, and you're still not in position to actually fight, right? So what's going to happen is you're probably going to grapple to go in, and you're going to grapple right here, and you're going to get about this much distance, and you're going to land on the Hog with a pile driver. And it's going to be you're going to get nothing, right? Right here, you're going to grapple. You're not going to grapple because he's whole hogging, but like the point is like you're non-factor. Like you're playing. What are you playing here? You're playing soldier with less damage, right? Like what you don't pick ball for this, right? You still have no shields. Like I'd like to point that out. Like that's how long shield cooldown is. Again, you're giving up your high ground, your free slam to go behind them, right? Like just you're already behind them, right? Just jump out here, minefield, pile drive, right? If not a free kill, at least you can test the cart, right? And then you still have grapple to do grapple things on the cart, right? When you dodge the CCs, right? And then you can start grappling and go bouncing around, being invincible, right? Doing ball things, right? But this is just not how you want to do it. Right, you use the grapple to gain the height you already had. I just want to emphasize that like you use the grapple to gain the height you already had because you got nothing else off this grapple, right? You got no boop damage. You got you got nothing, right? Use the grapple to get the height you already had. Feels bad. Look how good mines are. Right, back to okay. Yeah, you're dead. You can't over tunnel that Genji. If he leaves, right, he's out of the fight. You just gotta go back to like the problem is you use your grapple again to do this, right? But if you had grapple, right, after your pile drive, you can like hook to the cart, use that to dodge CC, or if you expect to get CC'd immediately, don't grapple, so that way you still have grapple after the CC, and then you just like you, don't just like go in circles around the cart. That's pretty it's hard, it's easy to mess up, and it's easy it's predictable, so you get hit a lot. But you would just want to like attach to the cart, so that way you can like be contested to it, and you can like change directions. You can go really fast whenever you want, right? And once you get a fireball going, you can boot people around, right? And when you hit the fireball, like you don't need to keep going into them. You can just stop it and go back and hide behind the cart again. As long as you don't let it go with the grapple, you just have a lot of movement options around the cart. Yeah, you just chase on the skill. You take a lot of damage doing it, and then you die, and you're not able to contest cart. Like, it was a good minefield pile drive, right? But the problem is, like, you burned your grapple, and then, like, you overcommitted for a kill. And, like, you didn't need to burn your grapple, is the thing. Alright, we're playing Sig now. So, nobody has a main tank right now, so the goal is mostly, so, your job isn't to protect backline. It's not to play the front of, like, to provide a shield for your team. Your goal is to hold angles and contest flanks, right? So this is bad. What you want to be is like over here, right? Assuming your team is like come out yet. Your team hasn't come out yet, but like for now, like you don't want to be main. Main is really bad for you. All right, so I'm 21 minutes in, and I think the focus should be on Sig anyways, or not Sig, ball. So I'll just end it here. So in summary though, your ball has to like you need to use high ground more, like whenever possible. You don't have a ton of options on first point. But you still have like this high ground, right? You can just hang out over here. You can scout, right? And you can still have, and if like the other team, like your team is giving a lot of ground, right? You can hang out here, right, and have the same idea, right? On second, like nobody even went high ground except for the McCree very late into the fight or late into the game, and you never used it, right? And the one time you used it, right, you got here, it was great, it was looking perfect, and then you dropped down to get a fireball, right, to get a grapple. To get a fireball that didn't hit anyone into the same play as if you were like you just started here, right? So like you use high ground, right, to your advantage, right? That it lets you save a grapple cooldown, and then you can use the grapple cooldown for other things, right? Also, you have a tendency to like show up a little too late, right? You take a lot of damage that you don't have to, right? So like just understand that like if you're not immediately like killing someone, so the flowchart is if you're shooting somebody as ball, right? You either you either can't be shot back. It's only good to shoot people as ball if you either can't be shot back or you're killing them, right? If you're shooting them from the front, it's terrible because you're going to take damage. You're not going to kill them, and like you're being shot back at just by definition, right? So like you're taking damage, right? And you don't want to take damage as ball because again, like yeah, you're independent. You have access to health packs, but every time you have to go to get a health pack, that's time, right? So you don't want to take damage because you want the health packs for after you fight, right? So like for example, you pile drive minefield these guys, and then you grapple and do some fancy stuff, right? You do like maybe kill someone, and then your team gets on cart now, and they can contest, and then like use the remainder of your grapple, like you get some momentum in your grapple, you go grab fireball, right? And you just run over here, grab the mini, grab the mega, right? And then use another grapple, get back on cart, right? And that was 10 seconds, right? About, and you're back in the fight, right? Full health, right? But like you don't want to use packs to sustain yourself unless like you need to get unless you're struggling to get on the map, right? So like if for example your flank is getting pressured, right? Then you use packs to like sustain yourself, right? But you don't want to like if you stand here and you shoot if you stand here and you shoot them, you're sort of giving yourself up for pressure, right? You're allowing them to pressure you for no reason, right? You do this a lot where you just kind of stand there and shoot, and like you just need to get in the habit of like tucking yourself back in the ball and just leaving, right? As soon as like you realize there's anything like problematic, right? So like this is just a terrible example, but if you want to visualize that, right? Like where is he? There he is. Again, terrible example, but I'll just use it. So like that would be like you come over here, right? And then you like shoot, this is a terrible example. Hang on. Like you hop out, you take a shot, and then you realize it's bad. You tuck in, and you just leave. Right? Just get really in the habit of staying in ball form, or like going back into ball form quickly when you realize that like you're not getting what you want. Right? Which happens pretty often. Right? So like you go for this guy, you realize he's getting healed, right? You just leave. Right? and you get used to leaving, right? And like you just have a tendency, like when you start shooting, you use your entire clip, right? You do this a lot, right? Like you do this, right? And it's like no, just like start shooting, right? Oh my god, I didn't wait long enough. Like start shooting, really start killing them, and then leave, right? Or like tuck in and then grapple. Oh, that was a treble grapple. Hang on. So like, or like start shooting, right? And then realize it's not working, grapple, right? And then make your play after that, right? But you never just like just full shoot just because you don't feel like there's anything else to do. As ball, there's always something else you can do, right? You can either be setting up the map for a bigger play, or you can start doing like tech with your grapple, right? But shooting like just to shoot is just not good. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. I know I've been having audio issues lately, so if there's anything you didn't understand because of audio, just let me know as well about that. If you get to this point in the video, I know we're 25 minutes in. DM me what 9 plus 3 equals, and yeah, I hope this was helpful.